let's dive into the design we have for today. So the first thing I want to do is open a new file, and then I'm going to select this dimension 1024 by 1024 pixels. Alright, so once that opens, the first thing I want to do is, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to import the first. I need to put a background. So I'll come here and click on this, add a solid background of white, and then I'm going to import my first resource. So let's take this, drag the resource I'm using. I'll just drag this and drop inside of Photoshop. Alright, so I'm going to expand this to take up the whole space. Alright, good. So now the next thing I want to do is, let me increase this a bit. Right now, the next thing I want to do is, I'm going to create a duplicate of this. I'm just going to click on it and press Ctrl J. Good. So now the duplicate I made, I'm just going to come to select here, and I'm going to select the subject. Alright, so once the subject is selected, so you can see here, it's not have some things here I need to take care of. So I'm just going to go to my select tool here, and I'm going to pick quick selection, and then I'm just going to click on the negative here, and then I'm just going to remove all this part. Okay, so I'm going to remove all these parts. Good. Remove here. All right, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to create a new layer mask. Just click here, and then I'll come here and just click on. All right, so now next I want to add my text. So I'm just going to click here and add the word sufficient. Sufficient, SUFFICIENT. All right, so I'm going to change the color to white. Properties, I'm going to change the color to white. So let me reduce this. All right, the next thing I want to do is add the word grace. Let me just duplicate this, and then I'll click on this and add the word grace. GRAC. So I'm just going to expand this also. Let me increase this. Sufficient grace. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take this, the grace behind this one I duplicated here. All right. So I'm going to select the grace and the sufficient, and I'm going to increase them a bit. Let me reduce this here. Good, sufficient grace. All right, no. So now the next thing I want to do is, okay, before I do anything, let me add a bit of a shadow at the background. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to add drop shadow. Okay. And then, all right. So, but the black is too much. Let me just reduce the opacity a bit. I think this is good. So let me increase the spread a bit. Let's reduce it. We don't want it to be too much. And then let's increase the size. Good. So I'm going to do the same thing for the sufficient. So for the sufficient here, I'm just going to click, and then I'm going to add a drop shadow. So the last effect I just did will be added to this. So I'm also going to move the sufficient behind this one, and this text I duplicated here. Good. So now the next thing I want to do is, I'm going to add a logo. All right, so I'm just going to, let me take this for instance. Let me just take this and drop that of Photoshop, and then I'm just going to take this tool. I'm going to go to my magic wand and select the blue, and then I'm going to separate this. So let me invert it, Control I. Good. And convert to smart object. So let me reduce this and put it at one corner. First logo, and then let's import the next. I want to add like two logos here. So let me take this. I'll just take notes. This is just for educational purpose only. So I'm just going to take this and drag and drop inside here. And I'm going to take my magic wand again and select the blue. And then I'm going to separate this. I'm going to press Ctrl I to invert that and convert to a smart object. Good. So now I'm just going to reduce this. And then I'm going to place this here. All right, now, so the next thing I want to do is I want to add some other information. So let's assume this program is something that will be happening online on Zoom. I'll just take this here. Let me add this. This is the first thing I want to add here. One. So I'm going to let me add a color. Let me pick a color from here. Just take this and let me click this. Okay, this is first color. But before I do that, let me add something else. So I'm going to come here also and then add a triangle tool. So just shift this. All right. Okay, so now let me rotate this. Good. I also want to add it here. Let me push this in and then let me merge them together. So I'm going to select this and convert to a smart object. That's good. All right, now next I want to do, I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay. Alt, let me duplicate this. All right, so I'm going to change the color of this. Let me move this one I duplicated behind the first one, and I'm going to change the color. So color over, I'm going to come here, click on color overlay, and then I'm going to just select the color white. Good and okay. All right, so I'm going to just take my text tool and write the word zoom. So ZOOM. That's the first sound. So I'm going to reduce this and I'm going to place this inside here. The meeting will be happening live on Zoom. Okay, let me add the word on. Or instead, live. Sorry, LIVE, live on Zoom. So let me change this color to darker. Preferably a darker shade of this color down here. Okay, let me reduce this. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add the word, let's say the time. Let me just duplicate this. I'll say probably 8 p.m. So 8 o'clock, then p.m. Alright, and then next thing I want to do is I want to add one more of this. So let me just duplicate this thing. Okay, this now I'm going to move it behind and let me rotate this. Shift and then rotate the other way, okay? I don't want this to show at the other end. Alright, so now let me change the color. I can use probably a dark shade of red. Select this here like this. And then, sorry, like this. So you cannot drag to you get something you're comfortable and then, okay. You can just add the word this Tuesday as a text there. So DHIS, then Tuesday. AY. Control. Then let me just, I'm going to select all of these, complete Control A, and then I'm going to change the color to white. And then, okay. So let me reduce this. So reduce this, and then reduce this. So it's going to be happening this Tuesday. Good. All right. So one last thing to add before we call it a wrap. I'm going to come here to my 3D object and I'm going to select this color light gray, okay? And then I'm just going to place it across here. Or enter. Now next I'm just going to blend this. blend this using screen, and then I'm going to take a screenshot of this, Shift Control Alt E, and then I'm going to edit the screenshot. Filter, and then camera roll filter. Once camera roll filter opens, I'm just going to increase the texture. I'm going to increase the haze, the vibrance, and then the clarity a bit. And then I'm going to come here to my details and increase the noise reduction so that the colors, everything, everything blends. And then okay. Alright, so I can just add a bit of noise to this. Just come to my filter and then I'm going to add the I'm going to go to my noise, and I'm going to add noise. Alright, that's that. So this is the view, this is the full view of our design. Alright, so that will come to the end of the design for today. Thank you for staying to the end. I hope to see you in the next video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Have